let's get started with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show because we got lots of guests this morning. And our show is brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Jesup Premium Stores, located out here on the Waycross Highway, and by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
All right, we got lots of guests. Let's go ahead and start with our first set this morning. Who do we have in this morning, Bob?
We got DDA Director Molly O'Hara in with Kelly. DDA is talking about their first Friday event, which they talked about at the city meeting, got it approved, and we've been having on the local news the last couple of days. Going to have 4 of these a quarter, or 1 each quarter. So, Molly, I'll just turn it over to you to tell about this first event on Friday, August the 3rd.
Good morning. Well, yes, that's correct. We are planning to do 4 for the first year for 2018-2019 year, 1 a quarter, and this is our very first one. We're very excited about kicking off First Friday events, and the first one is actually going to be a downtown mini golf event. And like you mentioned, I do have Kelly Shanklin here with me today from Rainier Advanced Materials. They are one of our strategic partners, and she's on our committee, so I'm going to let her tell you all that good stuff.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. Yes, our first event will be Friday, August 3rd. We'll tee off at 4 p.m., so the event will last from 4 to 7 p.m. You can come pick up your scorecard and your map at the train depot.
All right, so you go by the train depot in downtown Jesup. Mm-hmm. You pick up your scorecard.
That's right.
And all that. And so how does it work? Where do they go and what do they win and how does it work? What's the logistics?
There is no cost. It is free for the public. It's a community event. This is something we wanted to do for the community to come out and come downtown and see what downtown's all about. But basically, we will have, right now I've got 15 businesses, could be a little bit more, but 15 businesses that will have mini golf holes, putting greens set up in their business or in front of their business. And people can go to the train depot, pick up that scorecard. It'll have a map with a list of the different businesses that are participating, and they can walk around downtown and participate in mini golf. Then if they come back to the train depot, turn their scorecard back in, there will be a gift certificate drawn from one of the participants. So they will have that opportunity to win a little prize as well. The businesses are encouraged to decorate their green. We're going to provide the green itself, and then they have the opportunity to dress it up if they'd like. And there will be a prize for the best putting green as well. So.
Okay. And the putters will be available at each store?
Yes.
So when you go to the store, they'll give you the putter and the ball, and you put and you write down your score.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter what the score is at that particular merchant. You just write down your scorecard, and then you take it by the train depot.
Yes.
Now, is it going to be done by best score or just a drawing? Or
it's just going to be a random drawing.
Random drawing.
We will put them all in a big thing and turn them around and pull one winner to win a gift certificate to one of the participating merchants.
Now, you said you had somebody from the city maintenance department that's going to be putting these little putt-putt greens together. Now,
yes.
Is each one going to be a little bit different? Are there going to be little curves, little hills?
They're going to pretty much be all the same, but like I said, the businesses will have the opportunity to dress them up or put obstacles or whatever they'd like to do for their business. But yes, Don Heron is our city building inspector, and he has graciously volunteered to build them for us. So we definitely want to thank him. We also would like to thank the Fun Place LLC, the skating rink out there, because they have also graciously donated the putters for us to loan the putters to us for this event. So we want to give them a shout out as well. And real quickly, I'm going to go through our strategic partners because we want to thank them because we couldn't do what we do without all of them. Omaha Federal Credit Union, Harris & Company, Interstate Credit Union, Jones Medical Equipment, Murphy Builder Supply, Rainier Advanced Materials, State Farm David Earl Keith, Sinatronics, Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, Wayne Memorial Hospital, and Williamson Development Company. So those are our strategic partners, and they fund our facade grant program, so we definitely want to thank them as well.
All right, this is going to be on the first Friday in August.
First Friday in August, Friday, August the 3rd.
From 4 p.m.
From 4 to 7.
7.
We're asking the businesses to stay open just a little bit later so everybody can have the opportunity to see what all our downtown merchants have to offer. So we're encouraging all of them to stay open until 7 for these events.
Okay, and of course, I guess the whole goal about this is getting folks downtown and visiting the different merchants and seeing what kind of good score they can have and on their pay.
That's right, and I know Bob has announced on the news, but I did want to mention that the council did approve for us to have open container throughout West Plum Street to West Walnut and Macon Street to Broad Street. So that little main downtown area, if you want to visit one of the participating businesses, Alex or Angels or One Love, The Strand, and get a beverage, then you can walk around with that in a designated cup for the duration of the event, so from 4 to 7.
Okay, well, sounds like fun. Now, this is going to be the very, very first of the first Fridays that y'all are going to do it downtown. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are going to do one a quarter. Our next one, we are planning to do a pep rally in October, and we know that that's football season, so we are going to work around that and maybe move it to the Thursday before so that we can get all the football players and all the cheerleaders and everybody out there and have a big community pep rally. So.
Okay, well, sounds fun. Bob?
Just appreciate you coming. Like I said, look forward to the event. We'll keep on promoting it.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else going on with the DDA that you want to talk about, Molly?
Well, we are moving right along with our master plan. We are trying to get some of those projects going. The council has given us $100,000 to paint the railroad trestle by Sipples on 1st Street, 84. So we're still working on that project. I've been involved with the Cracker Williams project. We're excited about that as well. So, yeah,
okay.
A lot of good things going on.
All right. Well, sounds like fun on the 3rd of August with the first Friday. Fun going on.
And I would be remiss to not mention that we also have our Summer Spectacular still going on until the 31st. So there's about one more week left of that. If they shop local, then spend the designated amount for that business, and they can be entered to win prizes for that.
All right. Sounds good. Lots going on at downtown Jesup. Folks, get down there and support your local merchants.
That's right. Thank you. Thank y'all for having us.
Good luck with the event on August 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got more guests coming up here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We got Dr. Jay Brisson, Superintendent of Wayne County Schools, and some other folks coming in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jesup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jesup.
Andrew Cuneo here. It's summertime in South Georgia, and the only thing hotter than being outside is the hot deals at Mike Birch Ford. With up to $12,000 off new F-150s, there's no better time than now to purchase the truck for your dreams. So stop the search and call Mike Birch Ford today. Andrew Cuneo here. It's summertime in South Georgia, and the only thing hotter than being outside is the hot deals at Mike Birch Ford. With up to $12,000 off new F-150s, there's no better time than now to purchase the truck for your dreams. So stop the search and call Mike Birch Ford today.
Jesup Premium Storage, 1455 South 1st Street is Jesup's best place to store your valuables. Whether it's furniture between moves or just a place for the overload, call Jesup Premium Storage at 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jesup Premium Storage units are indoors, climate controlled, and they have 24-hour surveillance and on-site management. You have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to your unit. Sizes range from 5x5 to 10x25. They also have outside covered and uncovered spaces available for vehicles, boats, trailers, and RVs. Jesup Premium Storage on the Waycross Highway in Jesup.
All right, 9 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to The Big Dog, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup. Butch Hubbard here with you, along with Bob Morgan on this Friday morning, the 20th day of July. Bob, schools is going to be starting back real soon, and we've got some folks in here that are going to be tremendously involved with it.
Yes, school bells ring August 2nd. The teachers report July 27th. School Superintendent Jay Brents is with us with the principal of the high school now, Brett McDaniel. So, Jay, I'll turn over to you. I know you wanted some time here on the show. So,
well, Jay,
the
good morning,
floor is
gentlemen.
yours.
Yeah, I appreciate you allowing us to come on for a few minutes. Just wanted to, it is time to start back school, so we just wanted to update you on some of the things that we've been working on over the summer, really since last spring, in regards to the school safety. That's something, I was spinning the news and, through those tragedies that's happened all over our country. I think, a good things come out of it here in Wayne County, that we've been able to kind of refocus and kind of reset what we're doing at our schools, to even make them more safer. And even the General Assembly in this session, they recognized that and was able to actually put some funds, to that and support it. So they made it important enough to put funds to it.
Now, one of these funds go to these new funds that the General Assembly that they designated for schools. What are they going to be used for?
And that's what I'm fixing to go over. Of course, with any funds, state or federal, there's always strings. But,
always.
We're excited about it because we're going to be able to use these funds to do some work to make the access to our buildings at the middle schools and the high school have a little more controlled access. The new schools, we have a situation where they come in and we actually buzz them in, and that's what we're going to replicate at the middle and high school. Now, the middle schools, we got a pretty simple fix. The high school is going to be a little more complicated, but we're working on that, and it's going to be basically a different entrance, or you'll come in. The middle school's the same way, but you'll have to be buzzed in to actually get access to the halls. High school, the same thing. We're going to change those entrance. There'll be one main entrance where you come into the main office and to come through the glass doors. And this will be after the day starts. Everybody will go in and out of that one door, and then they will have to be buzzed in to go into the actual building. That's the thing in schools that you have to balance between safety and, we're not prisons, but we are schools, but at the same time we recognize things have just changed. So we're going to have to ask our public and students, parents, and everyone to be a little more patient and understand what we're trying to accomplish. Another thing that we're spending a little money on as well is to make our buildings more identifiable to law enforcement, fire, EMTs, all the folks that may have to respond to an emergency. We've had emergencies at our schools with, students getting hurt, and especially the high school being such a big facility. So we've walked the building. Dr. McDaniel and Chief Lane and Donnie Ray helped us walk around and kind of strategically make sure we could identify all the halls of the school, both inside and out. You think about it, if EMTs or respond to a medical emergency, they need to know where to go on the building. So we're going to have those numbers on the outside as well. And another thing that we realize is that if we did have an active shooter situation and the school's going to be locked on the outside, that's something we were preaching to our teachers and admin to make sure it's happening, make sure all the doors are shut and locked. But if somebody's responding, you think about responding to the end of one of the halls at the high school, they may need to enter through that end. So we're going to strategically place lock boxes on the outside that will have a code, a digital code to it that will have a master key that only the law enforcement, fire, EMTs, those folks will have that code where they could just quickly punch in the code and have access to the end of the hall. Again, just trying to make it quicker to get in there. We've done a lot of training last spring. Robert Brantley and Richard Johnson and even Vic Drawdy the year before done a lot of training with the Stop the Bleed training. So I think we have about a third of our teachers that have been trained in how to do that, because that's one of the things they found in some of these tragedies, that if somebody was a little more trained, they could have administered aid to that student and saved their life. Because like Mr. Johnson says, once somebody's bleeding, the clock's ticking, and you only have so much blood in your body, and once it hits zero, it's over then. So we're just trying to continue those training, the active shooter drills. We're trying to get where everybody knows what to do if that occurred at the school. We did some whole training, and now we're at the point. We're going back to the schools and training the staff, to how to react, how they lock the room down, how they find a hard corner in their room, to remain safe to law enforcement comes. The development of the safety committee last spring, and Mr. Ellis is actually the head of that. He's been charged with running that, and the sheriff's office. Everybody's at the table: fire, EMTs, Jesup PD. Everybody's at the table, and they've come up with these recommendations that we're implementing. These things that I've just talked about, they're coming from recommendations from that committee, and our board has supported them as well. So we'll continue that training. We still have we still have some things we need to work on. Of course, in the East Block, we have technology, which includes cameras. Cameras are high-tech pieces of equipment nowadays. So that's something we'll look to upgrade at that point. To make sure we have good coverage throughout the building.
Yeah, those cameras are very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be good to have more of them and more high-resolution cameras throughout the school.
Right. One other thing that we've implemented this year that we have, the board decided to increase the budget a little bit in the area of security. So we are adding some security at both middle schools this year as well. So we're looking to have a deputy or officer there, a couple, 3 times a week maybe, and then we're going to continue the full-time officer at the high school. That we've made a more dedicated commitment to that to kind of confirm what we want to get out of that security. So that's something we made a conscious effort to improve. And that's just a few of the things. I think this is a little bit like we always continuous improvement. I don't think we ever get our instruction in our classrooms perfect, and we're always trying to improve them. I think that's the same thing you do with safety. Continue to improve.
And it's just a shame that such precautions have to be taken, but you see what happens nationwide, so you've got to be prepared.
It is. And again, I ask the community and the parents to, embrace this opportunity. We understand we're dealing with the two most precious objects you have, your children and your money, and they're important, so we're trying to make sure we're providing the safest environments we can where we can get down to our business, which is educating children. But we do want people to feel comfortable when they drop their child off in the front of that school. A couple of other things that I know I've heard in the social media is bouncing around a little bit, but we are going back to the student IDs at the high school, and we'll look to expand that out. That's going to be a good thing for us. We used to do it in years past and got away from it, but that's something we need to get back to for a lot of reasons. The other thing is, we did revise our cell phone policy. So there will be no cell phone use from 7:50 to 3:10 during school. So that's cell phone use. There will be no cell phone use. And I will interject. Dr. McDaniel's come on as the high school principal this year, and he had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He come on after this. All right, so we're going to give him a free pass this time. Now, from here on out, it's all on him.
But he's got to enforce it, though.
That's right.
Thing.
He does.
You think it's going to be the biggest headache, the cell phone? I mean, they ask kids to keep them in their cars, keep them in their lockers. You think that's going to be an issue, or you think they'll do what they're told to do?
I think it'll be like anything else. Once you kind of coach, it's just like teaching. You teach them the process and go through the process, and I think we'll get to it. I mean, I know starting school the first couple of weeks there's going to be some bumps and some issues with it, but we'll get there. We'll get to that point where I think everybody will be comfortable with it. And anytime there's change, there's always a little opposition. There's always some differences we have to work through. But I think we can work through it and get to the point where we're at a point where everybody's comfortable with it and can make it work.
Can the students have the phones on them, or do they have to have them in the car in the locker?
The policy is just use, so they can't have them on their person. We want to stay away from make them having it in a designated area, because not everyone drives to school, and if you make them put it in a locker, next thing you know, we got a locker that happens to be broken and somebody gets in, and then that's kind of on us. So we're going to leave the responsibility up to the students, and they're 15, 16, 17-year-old young adults. So we do expect them to be responsible for it, but we are asking them to no use.
Right. This is also middle school, elementary. It seems like all the kids have them these days.
Oh yeah. Everyone has one.
No matter what the age is.
That's right.
Somebody just texted in, what about kids bringing weapons? How are you checking for that?
Well, we don't have metal detectors and that sort of thing, but we are looking to increase our training with our admin, to I guess pick up some of the tricks that law enforcement have. Law enforcement are trained to look at someone and tell if they have something in their waistband, or if they see a bulge, that sort of thing. We have not implemented a clear book bag. I've heard that story out there, clear book bag policy or uniforms. Haven't done that either. But that's something. What we found in my experience has been word of mouth usually flushes out anything that's in the school that's not supposed to. Kids usually, we have good kids in Wayne County. They don't want guns and things in their schools that are not supposed to be there. So.
Well, like I said, just implement this policy. The question I got is how the students understand that policy. How are you getting that word out to the students that say don't listen to the radio, don't read the newspaper? They're going to show up the first day of school and play dumb. Like, I didn't know that was a rule. So how do you get that out to the students that there's no cell phone use from that time period?
We'll review it with the faculty on the first day. We have our faculty and staff meeting on the first day. Teachers come back and go over the policy and go over the expectations and kind of go over the rules of how it's going to work and how everything's going to work. And then we had good advisement the first day of school. And from there, the teachers will explain a little more in depth the policy and how it's going to work and the expectations and the things that go along with it. So, just reiterating it every time we get a chance, probably do some announcements at the beginning of school every day just to kind of go through the flow of things so that the kids understand, we're not out to get them. We're not trying to, first day in, somebody pulls their cell phone out. We're not going to hang them up by the flagpole. We're going to work with them. Obviously, we know this is a big change, and we've been, doing things a little differently in the last couple of years, and we know it's going to take some time, but we're not out to get them, I guess, is the biggest message. We're going to work with them and try to make sure that everybody gets through the process and understands, and then hopefully, a week or so in, we've kind of got a good understanding from the teachers and the student standpoint.
Well, that you'll probably have some kids start having the shakes,
Sure.
I mean, you may start seeing some kids kind of freaking out, sitting there, so, be prepared for that as that withdrawal that will happen from 7:15 until 3:10. Dr. Brewster, why don't you introduce the person next to you to your right here, just in case folks tuned in.
Well, this is Dr. Brett McDaniel. He is the interim high school principal. He's been here. Actually, I hired him I stole him from Tattnall County 6 years ago, 5 years ago, as an assistant principal right before I assumed this position. So he's been here as our CTA director, and he took Bonnie Gordon's position when she retired, and he's been there for the last 5 years in that role, and has done a tremendous job. Those were huge shoes to fill, and I'm not going to say he completely filled them because I think a lot of Dr. Bonnie Gordon, but he's done a great job. That department is continuing to thrive and flourish, and does us proud every single year.
And now he's high school principal.
Now he has a different role. That's right, a big role.
Okay. That's a big shoe.
He's had a huge summer. Recently married, recently homeowner, now interim principal. It's been a wild summer for you, Mr.
He's definitely dropped anchor here in Wayne County. That's a fact.
Now, somebody else just texted. Remember, folks, you can always text in questions and comments at 912-427-3711. You can text those in. Somebody wants to know, what is the main reason for no cell use phone? No one using the cell phone during school hours.
Just feel like safety. I mean, that's the bottom line. And what law enforcement and really our security officers that work at the high school are telling us is that that's where a lot of the, I guess, bullying starts. We do have instances where fights are staged where, all right, meet me in the bathroom, this time, and they'll go in there and settle some, and we don't have cameras or admin staked out in all the bathrooms, and unfortunately, inappropriate things are sent over cell phones, and just inappropriate things happen. Correct, and it's just feel like that will help cut it down. Will it stop it completely 100%? No, but it certainly will cut it down, and we don't want that on the school's time because it takes a tremendous, it's very taxing. I think if you talk to any law enforcement officer, when somebody sends something inappropriate on a cell phone, they have to spend an inordinate amount of time to get to the bottom of that and address it legally. And we're kind of the same way. We're dealing with children. Most of our students are minors, and that's just a whole different legal realm.
Okay, and when you say admin, folks, he's talking about administration, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so no cell phone use from 7:50 to 3:10 at the high school by the students. They can keep them on their possession, but no bringing them out, no texting, no Snapchat, no Facebook, no calling. Just keep them there. Communicate once you leave the school.
And I know parents say, I need to get hold of my child. And if the child needs to get hold of their parent, we have phones in school. We're certainly going to work with them. And like Dr. McDaniel said, there's going to be a time of transition coaching before we start delving out, discipline. And that's not our business. We're not in the punitive business. We're there to educate children. But when we ask a student to do something, and they don't do it once, and they don't do it twice, and you don't do it a third time, you're not really talking about a cell phone issue. You're really talking about an insubordination issue. And in school, students are going to have to do what we ask them to do.
And as you said, it's a safety issue that you've been recommended to by police departments and other law enforcement personnel, that if you don't have cell phone used by the students in school, that it cuts down on violence of any type, of bullying, things of that sort. It's a safety issue.
It is. 100% that's the reason for it. And, we've been charged legally. The legal realm has changed a little bit. We're actually responsible for some of that, cyber bullying and texting and threatening, those types of things, even outside of school. We're on the hook for that a little bit too. We have to spend time investigating it and looking at it and and addressing that. And when we used to didn't have to do that, if it was outside of school hours or not during or on a school premises, we didn't have to deal with it. But now we do.
Well, students have to realize through most of the history of the United States, we have not had cell phones in schools and communicated just fine. The students and parents were still able to get a hold of their students just fine. But we live in an instant society today, and people don't like waiting.
And we do. And look, everybody understands it's a change, and change brings about a little apprehension. And, we just got to work through it together. We're on the same team. We need this community support. We need the parent support. We need the students to understand what we're trying to do. Like I said, we have good kids. We don't have near the problems that some districts deal with that I hear about. But again, we want to improve what we're doing.
It's going to be interesting how those students do react going from 7:50 to 3:10 without actually being on their phone. Now, what if they're sitting there in the lunchroom area, the commons area, or the lunchroom areas? What's the policy then? Still no use, right? Still no use then.
No use. And, we've already talked about it. It can be used as an incentive. I mean, it's not. I don't to say we're never going to be able to use our cell phones at the school. Well, no, that's not the case. We may, if we don't have any. If we're having attendance and everybody comes to school today, we have a good attendance week, maybe we're going to have a day where we use it during lunch, before school, during all the lunches, something like that. I mean, that's something we're going to work on. But for right now, no use during the school day.
Okay. For safety purposes, folks, someone just texted in, will this rule be in effect for elementary school level?
Elementary school, we don't have it in there, but I'm not aware of a bunch of cell phone use at the elementary level. But no, eventually that won't be appropriate either.
All right. Well, sounds good. The school system kicking in. You go by the high school or those schools in the morning right now. There's always a lot of cars that are already.
Yeah, teachers are already there, working hard already, and they're not due back to work until next Friday. But they're already in the schools getting the rooms ready. They work extremely hard. And so it's coming on soon, August 2nd.
August 2nd. Amazing. Good luck being the new high school principal.
Thanks, sir.
And, Jay, we wish you all the best starting the 2018-2019 school year, academically and on the football field.
And we appreciate you. Support, appreciate what you do for our community and the support of our school system. And we'll be, once the dust settles and we get school started, we'll be back maybe discuss a little East Blast.
Okay. Bob, any other questions or comments?
Like I said, we'll get to this election, but I'm sure once this election, like I said, the big East Blast comes up in November, so I'm sure we'll have you on back before then.
Absolutely.
Okay. And of course, the other one said football, but you got softball going on, cross country, other sports going on in the fall also. All right. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it very much. All right, world famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Jesup Premium Stores located out here on the Waycross Highway, and also brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup. Time now is 8:29. Coming up soon, we'll give you a chance to win some free passes to Wild Adventures Park over in Valdosta, Georgia. Family 4-pack of tickets that we'll give away coming